Hi, my name is Richard Dawson and I go to Reach Nottingham and I'm part of a new missional community called Crooks Missional Community, which is based around Long Eaton and surrounding areas, and its heart is to serve the creative quarter, so the theatre, the arts, anything around those things. We just want to serve and bring the love of Jesus into that community. If you'd like to know more about that, then get in touch with us on Facebook. Excuse me. But the question I want to ask you is, if I say the word holiday to you, what emotion does that draw out of you? Now, calm down, calm down. It may be a very different emotion than it was this time last year if I'd asked that question. We were supposed to go to Chicago this year. My wife's got family over in Chicago, and so we booked a flight, but didn't go because of obviously everything that's gone on in 2020. And so I had 2 weeks annual leave. So we did a couple of weekends away. We went camping with some friends in Anderby Creek. I know there's a lot of love for Anderby Creek across Reach. And we went to Wales, had a nice time there as a family. But in the meantime, in the weekdays between, I thought, what can we do? So the second week, me and my son Joel, he's 14, went to camping, went up to the Peak District. And we set up the tent. It was all good. But one thing Joel is really good at is making friends. He's the best out of all of us. And so we set up the tent. We'd had a game of cricket. And then some other kids started playing cricket. They asked Joel if he wanted to play. And so he was off. Really good. To the point that when we come back and talk to Laura and Amy, he tells them that I was Billy No Mates. In fact, I made friends on the last night. He gives me a bit of it dues. But the thing that really spoke to me over those 2 days away, those 2 nights away, was both of the things were around this idea of time. I got to spend quality time with Joel. You know, we played cricket, we hired bikes and went down the Monsell Trail, we ate Pop-Tarts together. I mean, quality time, and spent really good time together. And the other person I managed to spend time with in those couple of days was God. I managed to read my Bible a bit more, managed to pray a bit more and just chat and kind of listen. That's why Joel was playing cricket with his mates. Because time's really important when you are building relationships. In fact, it's probably the most important thing. You know, if we don't invest time and energy into relationships, we can really come unstuck. I mean, Jesus knew all about that. So the 3 years that Jesus was involved in ministry in his time on earth, he spent that with 12 guys. He hung out with them. And this wasn't a 3-year leadership conference, although it probably had a bigger impact. I mean, there was a couple of seminars. There was the Sermon on the Mount, for example. But pretty much he spent time with these 12 guys. And the most important thing he gave to them was his time. Time for them to see him in action. Time for them to listen to what he has to say. And time for them to be with each other and be with him. I'm obviously committed to my relationship with Joel, as I am with the rest of my family and friends and our missional community. And I mean, I'm prioritising time with God. But you know what? We're called into this relationship because it's a covenant relationship. It's not one way. I'm not just spending time with God because I think it's a good thing to do. Spending time in this relationship because he's spending time with me. He wants to spend time with me. He created us to be in this relationship, both giving. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not giving equal amounts, are we? Let's be honest. He gives far more time and energy and resources to us than we can ever give to him. But it is two-way. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for you to prosper. Plans to give you a future and a hope. You know, that connection is really important, both ways. In John 15, verses 1 to 27, I won't read it now. I'll give you a chance to read it later. But John 15, 1 to 27, verses around the vine and being connected to the vine and bearing fruit when you're connected. It's really important that as Christians, we stay connected and stay in relationship. And to do that, we need to make time. These devotions are a great help. And I would say today's devotions, other ones might be different, but today's devotions is more of a, hey, this is something for you to do. We're not doing it now. You're listening to me talk. But go on and spend some time with God. The fruit of that camping trip, I hope, will be a greater relationship with Joel. Although if he keeps calling me Billy No Mates, that might not be the case. But also a greater relationship with God. I want to play a track now, and it's not a worship song, but it's from a musical I was in just before lockdown called Godspell. And this is Day by Day. And the main lyrics are to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, and follow thee more nearly. What a great way to build a relationship on. Thanks for listening, guys.